And it's funny that this song, this album, this thing comes out at the same time when we see things in the news like University of Oklahoma and the fraternity scandal. Is it coincidental? I mean, how do you feel when your music kind of hits at the same time and it's addressing the use of the N-word and the misuse of it, and then it blows up into this big scandal and it's colliding at the same time?
Bro, that's an act of God, man, to get this message across. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I started on this album already knowing what I wanted to talk about. Just off the simple fact, just off the idea of this. Feeling like you've been pimped and maneuvered, you know, in the industry. How can I make that something positive and embracive to my community, to the urban community where I'm from? And as I'm doing this, all these things are happening, these events are happening, you know. Trayvon, Ferguson. This is the word. This is what we need. These songs, I couldn't make these songs after these events happened. It's too intricate. You know what I'm saying? I would have to go back in the studio. My album wouldn't be out right now. I would have to go back in the studio and formulate, you know, the process of working. So, with that being said, it's not even me. This is God's work. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm glad it happened that way, because we have a message to thrive off of, you know, rather just constantly looking at the news and we feeling victim.
Right. Yeah. So you don't want to feel like a victim anymore?
I don't want to feel like a victim.
Okay.
I don't want to feel like a victim. I can talk about it all day, or I can do something about it. Right. Me putting out this album has started doing something about it.
Last song, Mortal Man. For one thing, I mean, it feels like a lot of this was influenced. You mentioned Robben's Island a lot and visiting. This is the cell where Nelson Mandela was being held captive. And you kind of talk about Nelson Mandela, Martin, Malcolm, but even like Michael Jackson in the same breath as our heroes. And when hits the fan, are you still a fan? Do you feel you're moving into that direction? Because it kind of feels like your career, that you're becoming a voice of your generation. Yeah. And that you may be moving into some, you know, Nelson was a great man, Martin, Malcolm, Michael Jackson, but it seems like you could grow into that trajectory. Do you see yourself in that role, or is that too premature to say?
First off, I would never. It takes years and it takes wisdom to do the work that they've done. Mandela, Martin Luther King. But for the generation at the time being, I hold myself responsibility to that, because I got to see these kids every day. And like I said on they got to have slit wrists and come to me saying they say my music saved their lives and things like that. I can't run from that. That's my, whether I want to, like it or not, I got to accept that. You dig what I'm saying? So for this generation, yes.
Do you fear in seeing what happens to men, great men that we put on pedestals, and it almost seems like a doomsday coming? Yeah. Is that a fear of yours?
You know, it's a trip, man, because let me tell you this is real. The moment that the article came out, and you have people angry from what they're reading, Punch hit me and say, "Did you record that song, Mortal Man, a week ago?" These the same sentiments. This is the same things that you're talking about. We're so confined with hatred and want to point out people's flaws, and we don't see the big picture and what they're doing. And it's been done with leaders way before my time.
Right. So what makes you special? Like you gonna get it.
You get it regardless.
They did it to Malcolm and Martin.
Hey man, they did to Jesus Christ, man.
That's
Lord
real.
and Savior, you feel me? So who am I? I'm just man. That's why we call it Mortal Man.
That's real.
And it's accepting that, acknowledging that, but also challenging the listener, challenging the person that said they love you and believing in your message and your music. That's what that's doing.
Okay. Real quick. You once said, we referenced it before, you used to be jealous of Aaron the Flower.
Yeah.
I'm right now jealous of Kendrick Lamar because I've been doing this journalism, this interview thing for 10 years. I've never got to interview Tupac, man. You come out, man, and you interview Tupac, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that?
Man, that was another gift, man. I got that audio recording when I was in Germany by a cool guy, man. He said, I did an interview with him, and he said, me and Pac have the same sentiments, even though, you know, we're totally far from age. And he said, I want you to have something. Sure enough, I took it back to the bus. I played it, and it's a full, long, unreleased joint of him just asking them questions. And what intrigued me the most, what gave me the idea, is that the answers that Pac is giving are answers for today,
right.
Time and age,
right.
man. And I said, the world got to hear this,
right.
And they got to hear it on a major scale, you know. And I got that opportunity, and I give love and I give thanks to his mother, you know, for allowing me to use her son vocals in a positive light, you know, because a rapper could do anything. They can butcher him and make it the worst thing ever, but I want to continue his message through that, and I thank her for that, for allowing me to do that.
And you always had a close connection to Pac. You felt like a couple times in your career, Pac has blessed you and touched you. And I remember you talk about this memory of being a kid and watching them film To Live and Die in L.A.
Trip. To Live and Die in L.A. No. California Love, the first video.
Okay.
Trip. I just went back to that same Compton swap meet, jumped on the roof of the Compton swap meet and shot King Kunta there. You feel me? And all them kids was out looking. And a good friend of mine say, you was one of them kids looking at Pac when he was up here doing it. Now they looking at you, and it blew me away. Tripped me out. 15 years later, man, I'm doing that same thing Pac was doing.
And we here.
Right in Compton, man.
And we here.
It's just a beautiful thing. Cool. Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, man. We could talk about this all day, man. I know you got places to go, people to see. I appreciate your time.
Man, thank you.
We appreciate your energy.
My God.
And the care that you put into this album. The same care that you put into recording it, we're going to put the care into listening,
appreciate
rewinding,
that, man. All
breaking
the time.
it down.
That's what it's made for, man. I wanted to be that way. I wanted to be intricate, you know. When I made my first record, Good Kid, Mad City, I understood it was a level of demographics that I got to hit, but I still was able to maneuver and weave through the message that I wanted to get across. But this time around, I said I want to take it upon myself to go 100% the way I want to, and I'm glad you accept that, and the people appreciate it, you know.
Yeah, my man.
Yes, sir.